All right, so you've come up to the CC wall in Clubhouse. It's banded or it's cated. What do you see like 9 out of 10 times? You see your teammate do this, make the hole in the wall. You see them throw the nade and nade through, right? And that's how you would typically get the bandits off. You need to stop doing this. This is single-handedly the worst way to open the wall. Never do this. Don't do it, ever. Garbage, terrible, useless. You're a terrible Mav player. You suck, okay? But I'm here to tell you how to not suck. I got you, okay? I got you covered, man. Stop doing this. Okay, this is why. Earth to Nep, could you please throw a nitro out of that giant fucking hole? Thank you. Oh no, I'm fucking dead. You see that? This happens so often. And I'm here to show you how to never get nitroed again using Maverick, okay? And I can tell you what. It's not by making that hole. It's not. It's not. What's up, guys? So, the first thing we're going to be going over is Maverick's loadout. I personally love the M4. I think you're kind of trolling if you run his AR. The M4 is an absolutely nasty gun. 1.5 sight. This is just preference. If you prefer the 1x, you can pick whatever one you want. And then I run vertical grip as well as flash hider. Muzzle brake is also another good option if you're not a big fan of the flash hider. The muzzle brake is also really good on this gun. And then, of course, frag grenades. If you're bringing Claymore, you are also just straight trolling. And then just throw like a muzzle brake on your pistol. It just makes the most sense to actually put it on because it's just benefiting you by putting it on. So just put it on. Okay, so first thing is the basics of playing Maverick. All the kind of things you should try to do depending, regardless, of whatever wall you're trying to get. Just pretty easy stuff that will just make you a better Mav player instantly, right off the bat. Firstly, you never really want to go prone. Going prone makes you really slow, and if you try to run away, you kind of have that like half-second pause where you just literally can't move. So if I'm like holding my backup button and uncrouch, you see that little pause in there. So that just makes you more vulnerable, and if you're prone, it's just way harder to get away and actually like move. Whereas if you're crouched or standing, you can easily just back away from your holes, making you a lot less vulnerable. Another note about Mav is like rather than facing the wall and making a hole along the wall, you wanted to be doing it from the side. That way, as you're opening the holes, you're moving away from them simultaneously, so you're not just going to get shot in the face while making the hole right in the wall. For the purposes of this video, we're just going to be talking about the most common walls that you would normally see Mav'd, as well as some different ways to Maverick open specific walls. So we're going to be talking about every specific common wall that you'll actually see being Mavericked open, because there are different ways to do different walls, and some Mavericking ways are better than other Mavericking ways on specific walls, if that makes sense. If there's any extra walls that I missed that you want to know about, just leave in the comments and I can kind of type out my response and hopefully fulfill what you need. Yeah. Now, playing Maverick is not a solo operator. You do usually want to have a teammate who can run soft breach, so like Zofia, an Ash, a Buck, a Sledge, to actually open up soft walls after you make them soft, because making the wall soft by carving out the panel is going to be what you see most often and on most of the walls. So having a teammate who can actually help you when you're on Mav is ideal. So let's get into Clubhouse. Let's talk about, first off, the CC outer wall. So for the CC wall, you'll want to make the wall soft. Now, you can pick a panel. You can do left, you can do right. Most people prefer the left. The left is kind of like the default one to go to, and I'll show you how I personally think the best way to do this is. The first thing is, and this goes for kind of like every outer wall, if it's an exterior wall and you can repel, repelling in Maverick open the wall is the safest option. This way you can go upside down and actually do the bottom first. So if we Mav out the corner, Mav a line across the wall, make sure you get both these little panels. These little panels, you can hear them drop out when you actually Mav them. And then you flip around and you can do the top. So what this allows you to do is make the wall soft. What did I miss here? What did I miss? I missed this. Okay. I missed something else. Bruh. Okay, I suck at Mavericking, clearly. Clearly you're watching the wrong guy. Okay, there you go. So you make the wall soft, and then your teammate can impact, buck, sledge, ash it, like I mentioned before. But rappelling, what that allows you to do is they won't be able to see your feet as you're getting along the bottom. Whereas here, if you have a guy like a defender sitting prone here, looking out the holes when you're crouched doing it, then they can't shoot you, they can't kill you. So if this wall's cated or bandited and you are doing the holes along the bottom, it is recommended, highly recommended actually, that you either drone and make sure nobody's there, or you get a teammate on the other side opening up this server window to actually make sure that nobody is sitting there indeed. Because if you're doing it from this way, a person from red can see your ankles, and you don't want to be exposed to your holes by people in the site. So this club wall especially is really important because there's not really a safe side to sit on. So it's important that you open that server window. Now, before making this wall soft, I like to do a line of sight right along here. So once you have these holes open, now nobody can sit on this panel. So opening the line of sight here makes it so no defenders can sit here and peek aggressively on here or push up through server. So now you have the entire cross of server. If they come out red, they come out garage, and this is your ideal setup for Maverick on this. Now, another thing as a rappel player you have to worry about is the run out of garage and the hop out of the secret window. 2 claymores, 1 on each, works great. If you don't have the claymore though, just kind of be wary of this. Claymore and garage door usually is my go-to if you have to pick one. Okay, so now let's talk about the jacuzzi wall. So this would be for like a gym bedroom attack when you want to open this wall up. Now, typically you could just nade in through the drone hole and get off Cades, bandits, and then just get like a hard breach to open it. So that's pretty much my personal best option. Even if you have the Mav, like use the Mav nades to nade the stuff off, and then Thermite or whoever, Hibana, Ace, can open this wall afterwards. Actually, if it's Hibana, you'll probably want to just Maverick it because you do want like a bigger hole on this. But for the jacuzzi wall, very straightforward. Mav the line across the top. And you do want to make sure you get all those little pieces. I know I'm not the greatest Maverick player, but I know how to make a wall soft, and that's all you need to know. Even if you're horrible at it, you just have to make it soft without dying. That is your objective. There you go. And then you have a wall soft. You can open it up. And what did that take? 15 seconds, maybe 10 seconds. So it does take a little longer than there's a regular hard breach charge, but it's super, super easy. And there's no operators that can counter Maverick. That's why he is so strong, because there's no operators that can counter this freaking blowtorch, dude. So whether it's cated underneath, it's muted, it's bandited, or it's cated inside somewhere, Maverick's got the problem solved. So now we have dirt tunnel. Typically you just see this ace open, thermite open, whatever. There isn't typically a lot of wall denial on it. It would be kind of weird for the attackers to put wall denial, or the defenders to put wall denial on it, because you just nade it off through the drone hole. You're not going to bother stacking utility there. But personally, how I like to do dirt tunnel is what I like to call Swiss cheesing the wall. So by Swiss cheesing the wall, you'll line up between the 2 reinforcement knobs and make these holes kind of at this level. But in between those holes, you want to do one at the tip of this knob above that one. And then you have this Swiss cheese looking wall. So what this allows you is peek through the holes, crouch, but also stand up and peek the holes. Now this one's a little high, so you do want to make sure it's kind of lined up with the peg. So that way you can peek any of these holes. So any defenders pushing up dirt tunnel are gonna have to land the shot on all 5 of these holes, but you'll see them before they see you. So if I'm lined up in the middle one, he's gonna have to check every single one, be aiming at the right spot, whereas I'm already pulling this angle. So that makes defenders very, very scared to push up that way. So by Swiss cheesing that wall, you can then make a tiny little rotate into dirt here. And that's very safe to do, because the defenders have to be all the way up dirt to actually contest this, which a defender coming from dirt tunnel like this is going to be like, oh shit, like I can't push up here, I'm going to die. And if you want to absolutely secure the fact that you do kill that defender, just get a teammate to sit here and watch this while you open up this one. But yeah, that's a really easy to open dirt all by yourself with Maverick. Super, super efficient, super, super easy. Okay, now let's talk about Chalet. So Maverick is also very good on Chalet because of the fact a lot of people play basement in ranked on Chalet, and Mav's really, really strong on basement. He's also good on the master bomb site if you're doing like this library take that you see pretty frequently. So this wall is a cool wall. I would say it's pretty cool. But this is how I like to mav the master wall. This is probably the best way to mav the master wall. Off the bat, you're going to want to make just some lines of sight here. I like to just do this like 2 high. Maybe even just like 3, honestly. You just got to make lines of sight in this wall. Moral of the story. So what this allows you to do is you can not only play up on these holes like this, but you can play back down on the stairs to look through them, where you'll see like the office walls here. You'll probably actually want to make this lower, something along like these lines, probably in between these two. So like here to here, just kind of making a hole. And then on this side, you'll make your little crouch rotate the same way you did on like Dirt Tunnel on Clubhouse. And then you're pretty much good to go. So with these holes, you can watch the push up through office. You can also watch if one of these walls is soft, you can watch piano. And then your planner can come in through this crouch rotate, pre-fire here, and then just plant the bomb right on this ping. So making this hole is good because you're not exposed to office at all. And it's just this doorway you really have to worry about when you push in. And then just whatever kind of holes. It doesn't have to look like this. This is pretty garbage. I haven't played Mav in a while. Cut me some slack. But you want to make some holes around here that your teammates can use to watch the actual push through on you while you're planting the bomb on the half wall. There you go. Straightforward. Pretty easy. Now let's talk about the snowmobile garage. So on the basement, there's a lot of walls that you can use with Mav. You can do the snowmobile garage, you can do the wine wall, and the trench wall. We're going to talk about all 3 right now. For the snowmobile garage, right off the bat, I want to show you this angle that you can do. You can get a teammate to come up on the snowmobile and look around the wall at this height. So as your teammate is standing there, you can open this line of sight for him to potentially just get free kills. This is honestly a really easy way to get free kills because you can see all the way through connector. So anyone walking into connector or coming out, your teammate should be able to fry them. They could even come on the back of the snowmobile and you could do a line here for them. If you need to, just ask them for the ping. Ask them where they're looking at. Like ask them what they need mav'd, and then they can use those holes to get some free kills potentially. Once you're done that, I do only have a canister left because I did that master wall in the same take, but you can mav this wall soft, which is usually the way I would do it. So the line across the top, the line across the middle, or you can do that little crouch rotate that we did on the other wall as well, just to get into the site. Now, ideally you're making bigger holes because these tiny little holes are a lot easier to die on when you're actually pushing through them. Because what'll happen is you'll have people like sitting here holding it. You'll have a guy maybe with an angle like this holding it. So the defenders have a lot more cover to use against you when you're making these tiny holes, because then they just have to hold this. They know you're going to come and crouch. You have no speed coming in the breach. There's no predictability. They're just going to sit here, and the second your little crouch walking head pops up, they're going to shoot it and take it off. So ideally, you are making the wall soft. You're making the bigger holes, like the thermite size holes, if you will, because it's just much, much easier to push in through. Now, if you are going to be doing like a backside take, like let's say your team wants to do a backside take, you can come make these holes. You can make this little crouch rotate. You can make some holes in the wall over here. Maybe even just like the Swiss cheese we mentioned before, just some holes like that. And that way the defenders have no cover in snowmobile, and they always have to be constantly worried about a single player outside that wall. Okay, so let's talk about the backside. So this is where your team would take, you know, the classic ranked only hit the back type of deal. For this wall, you could just make like holes crouch level, like this type of thing, except of course do it from the left over. I'm sorry, I'm really bad at this, at explaining. So what you want to do is make those ones, and then you'll come over and make these ones afterwards, just so it's a little safer. Because that allows you to not be exposed to blue while you're doing it. And then ideally you have a teammate back here somewhere looking through. So what this does is it stops the defenders from being able to push up and actually cross over here. Now, you do have to be careful because your teammates by the wine door will be exposed by this. So maybe only do like this half, because otherwise the defender's going to be here like shooting back through your own holes, which isn't ideal. Now, another thing you could do is with the Cades or the bandits on this wall, if it's still closed, you could just nade it off. And by doing that, you can then just get another hard breacher to open it afterwards. That's the most simple option. The same thing on this wall. You can usually just nade off this Cade or the bandits or the mute if it is right here. But if you want to mav it, it does get a little tricky because this wall can be a little weird in the sense that it doesn't actually go soft properly. So I'll show you here. So if you're doing your typical mav duties, you hit the bottom. Notice that the wall doesn't actually go soft. And that's because on Chalet, for whatever reason, some of these walls just don't go soft. You do have to get the edge panel as well, and that'll let it go soft. Doing it from here isn't too bad. It's actually pretty safe. You'll probably want to just tuck yourself in this corner because for defenders to actually shoot you while you're mavericking that from that corner, they'd have to push up here and get you, which typically you'll have someone here, and this is just super risky for defenders. Whereas a guy on the pillar will be able to see you if you're on that right side corner. So you'll want to make sure you're mavericking this wall from that corner, which is actually really safe to do. The biggest thing is when you're getting the last part and the wall's going soft, you want to run away as fast as you can because you might see a nitro just fly at that soft wall as soon as you get it soft. So they might actually just open it for you. But yeah, that's it for Chalet. Moving on to classic club banger, Kafe Dostoyevsky. So this is a pretty typical bakery setup that you'll see, with this wall being caded or bandited, and maybe some footholes along the prep wall here, and maybe even some players playing in kitchen. So step one to actually mavericking these walls is clearing out bakery. Now, you can do this pretty simply with a nade or going to the small window if this isn't reinforced and clearing the guys out from behind the bake rack. But taking control of bakery is obviously important if you want to maverick open the bakery wall. Now, mavericking this wall, you can't just jump in and start mavericking it, right? Because you have to worry about people swinging out of prep, people swinging from your small. So ideally, you have one guy watching small, whether it's from outside this window or right here or blah, 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 blah. And then you'll have your second guy holding prep. And now, holding prep from outside is the easiest way to do this with just some Swiss cheese, some good old Swiss on this wall right here. So that way, you know, your teammate can sit here or here or here. And defenders do have to come around this cabinet, so you can sit like this. And if they swing the window, you might get a kill. If they push through, you might get a kill. You can stand here and do it. Or you could even get up on the rappel and rappel upside down just to add some more dimensions to your gameplay, I guess. An extra dimension to your gameplay. So mavericking this prep wall like that is important. And then the next up is mavericking the actual bakery wall. So the question you always kind of want to ask yourself as Mav is, where are the defenders going to be trying to kill me from? So if you're mavericking the bake wall, they're probably going to tuck themselves in this corner, go prone, try to shoot your feet as you maverick this side, or they'll sit right here, maybe look through your holes like this, maybe they'll be looking through your holes like this. So on this wall, you can get killed from kind of any side. Now, of course, is the classic mav a hole, nade the stuff off. No, you're going to get nitroed. Bakery's pretty small. You're pretty likely to get nitroed if you do that. So, we'll make the head holes, which we always start with the head holes. And then what we'll do is we'll get a teammate to go prone and fight back on these prone holes. So he'll go prone like this, okay? And we're going to go like this. And we're going to find the middle of the reinforcement. And then we're going to do this. Our teammate might see that guy. He might not. We're going to burn away all this garbage. And we're just going to stay pretty much just in the middle of this wall. That is pretty much your best bet. This wall can be kind of sketchy. You could have a guy back here, but he shouldn't be able to see you from here. So really the only way you're getting shot here is if there's a person prone like this, which is very, very unlikely. And if you do start getting shot from a person like that, that's when I would recommend to make the hole and actually nade over to either scare him off or push him back or just straight up nade him and get the free kill and then continue with your mav work. But this is why it's really important you're not prone, because if you do start getting your ankle shot, you can sprint away. So just be ready for that. On this one, you can maybe even like do a bit over here, do a bit over here. Just keep moving. But ideally what you're doing is you're droning it out first to see where they are and then position yourself based on that. Now, a lot of time people will reinforce both these as well. I don't really recommend mavericking this wall. Instead, what you can do is you can open up the top and actually nade over it just to clear whatever Cade, Bandit, etc. Or you can nade through the drone hole to clear it. But if you don't have that other hard breacher, so you are the only hard breacher to actually get into this wall, what I would recommend doing is making some holes in here, in this wall. Now, do it from the edge again. I know I keep just standing in the middle of the wall because I'm in a custom game. I'm not actually too worried about getting shot in the face because I know I won't. But what this allows you to do is have a teammate look into bunker, hold this door swing, or look into the window and watch the window swing, allowing you to safely make your rotate on the hole here. So that would just be that small rotate that allows you to get in. And then from here, what you can do is you can actually prone and nade guys out of bunker from here. If you are mavericking this wall, you do need control of this area, which is like whiskey, restaurant. If you don't have control of this, they're probably just going to come up and shoot you in the side of the head while you're trying to mav that. Not ideal. Getting shot in the side of the head is not ideal. So getting control of this is really important. If you have control of this, you can actually nade over the bar here to kill players in that bunker area as well. So if you are doing like a backside take on this, then this guy would get absolutely smoked. And here's another little Kafe quick tip, I guess you could say. If you don't have a buck or a sledge or whatever, it's super easy to just come over and maverick one of these hatches. So if you need the hatches open, you can maverick it if it comes down to it. Red wall, it's not highly recommended to mav this wall because people can just swing from new hatch and stuff. A lot of time you can just ignore even opening this wall by just getting on the piano rappel, and from the piano rappel you can kind of watch the guard. You can actually rappel into stage, and that's how I like to take piano, especially in ranked, because a lot of people rely on you pushing from the hatches. So playing the windows on this site is really, really strong. Now, once you've got control of piano, you'll want a teammate to watch this pixel door, and from here what you can do is you can either Swiss cheese this wall, or you can just make these crouch lines of sight that's similar to Chalet, because what this allows you to do is then just hold the freezer cross. So then you can have a teammate here, which there would normally be the rotate hole here, and then they can look all the way into cocktail, or they can kind of kill anybody in freezer. Maybe you want to just make a couple holes here so that the defender can't sit in this spot, and then that way you basically have freezer control, minus the deep freezer, which from here you could also nade people out of this corner by throwing a nade into deep freezer there. So those are just really strong holes that give you tons and tons of control by just mavericking the wall, which has no counter once again. Again, coordination is key. Have someone hold your pixel. You need somebody holding a cigar. You need to be worrying about your red flank. So there is a lot of safety concerns when you play Maverick. Now, you'll even see these walls reinforced, these bathroom walls reinforced on like the reading bomb site, maybe even the cocktail bomb site. But if you have control of bathroom, opening up this freezer wall is super, 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 super strong. And that is because you can see into cocktail from here. I really like these double lines. I'm a huge fan of these crouch double lines. So from here you can see into cocktail. You can go prone and actually nade into cocktail from here. So, wow, I actually smoked Neptune, which I didn't realize that they were even sitting there. But you can see the power of a good nade from that spot. So Maverick is a really good operator on Oregon. And that is because you see a lot of Cade played on Oregon, especially on the basement site, and Thatcher is usually banned. So having the Maverick allows you to open up those meeting hatches that are usually Caded. But he's also good on the other side. So you don't need like a Habana, Ace, Thermite. You don't need those guys on this map. It is nice to have one of the three of them, but you don't need two. And this wall, most of the time, you won't have wall denial on it. But you will see like the Maverick be the one who goes and opens it. So running Maverick is not against the rules by any means on the kids site. Now, if you want to get real stylish on this one, have a teammate hop onto the pillar and look right here and get your teammate to Maverick the top of the wall here. So what this looks like, climbing the ladder, is this. And what this does is just allows you to watch anyone pushing up the attic, which is pretty useless, but also can work. Now, your teammate can also hop on these boxes and look at this level, which is probably a little bit more preferred. You can make the line of sight just like this. And then your teammate doing some epic parkour can then sit here and watch the attic swing. Now, the double lines, again, are going to be the easiest way to do this to get the most viewpoints, I guess you could say. So hit the parkour 2, hop on the box, and there you go. Now you can see all the swings through pit, and it's this really weird off angle that defenders typically aren't ready for. After that, you want to just map this little hole in the wall here, and that's going to be your access in the attic. Making the mav hole on this side is ideal because this blue tarp then covers you, so the defenders actually can't tell if you rotate in here or not. You can get a good angle like this. You could sneak up. Mav is a very sneaky operator. If you don't actually have a teammate over here, maybe you just straight up make this mav hole. You don't make any of the other holes, and you just crouch walk in here. Maybe the defenders don't have someone near. Like if the defender's way over here, maybe he's fighting guys on master or whatever, and he doesn't hear this. This might be a way to just get tons of control by just like sneaking in. Moving over to the master wall, you pretty much never want to Maverick the master wall. And that is because it is literally just the smallest room ever. You can get C4'd underneath while you're doing it. They can swing your holes really easily and kill you. If they throw a nitro, you can't really get out that fast. It's really, really sketchy to try and Maverick open this wall. Now, if you still have the balls for it, and you want to do it still, I would recommend just doing this wall soft, or just doing some holes, like some head holes along the wall here, for your teammates to watch attic, maybe Swiss cheese it, etc. But again, a guy close here could easily peek this hole. So maybe just a few holes over here. But it is kind of scary to Maverick that wall because you can't get any distance on the actual holes. What I recommend doing is if you do want to like clear, like say it's cated or bandited, or you can't get it off for whatever reason, rappel to the roof, pull a nade, and just nade through this window. That was a horribly cooked grenade. Wait till you're on the roof, then cook the grenade, then throw it in. Not only will this clear the bandits and cades, but you actually might kill somebody who's playing in generator. I personally do this all the time, and it works super well. You don't even need Maverick to do this. Obviously, you just need grenades. Okay, so now let me show you guys how to mav hatches. The way Maverick works with hatches is the hatch has like 1,000,000 health or something. I think it's 1,000,000 health. And the blowtorch will slowly chip away at that health. Whereas a single X-Kairos pellets from Habana will do 250,000 damage on 25,000. 250,000, so 4 pellets get a hatch. The same way Mav just kind of melts down the HP of a hatch, so you don't have to cut a box out of the hatch. You don't have to do it that way. All you have to do is make sure you do 1,000,000 mother effing damage on this hatch so that it breaks. Okay, so you could draw pictures in the hatch. You can do whatever you want. The safest way to get the hatches though are going along the edges with these metal beams, because this what is it called, this little metal piece that sticks out here, you see how it covers you? It makes it a lot harder for the defenders to actually get angles on you if you're doing just the right along the metal edge. And there you go. You have your hatch open. Easy as that. You just do the 2 edges. You're good to go. 1,000,000 damage. You're good to go. Okay, guys. Welcome to Coastline. A ranked map that most people hate, but some people love. I personally am not a hater of Coastline. Or not Coastline. I love Coastline. Nobody's a hater of Coastline. Kanal. Not a hater of Kanal. Mav is super, super good on Kanal. People don't run him very much. But I think you should run Mav if Thatcher's banned, because it just makes it infinitely easier to actually win attacks on a map that is so hard to attack already. So here you have the classic Kanal outer wall. Now what I like to do, have a teammate rappel here. The only concern is this window. But if they rappel here, they ping the wall about here. That's where you want to make your first line for your teammate. The same way you would on like the Chalet wall. You just make that line for them. They can then rappel, look through the site, and you're much safer off to do the rest of your mav work after that. Now, if this wall is not cated or banded and allows you to rappel, go ahead and rappel on that. It's the safest way, like I mentioned before, because it is one of the outer walls. You move along the bottom. Make sure you get that little reinforcement tab on both sides. You flip around. You get the top. And the wall's soft. You're good to go. Of course, if these holes are open, don't do the rappel because you're going to get shot when you're rappelling in front of them. As you just saw, I would have got absolutely smoked there. So if these walls are open, just do the regular and then just do the crouch line like this. It's going to be hard for a defender to jam themselves in an actual wall to actually shoot back at you here. So you make the wall soft, your teammate can then impact it whatever to open it up. And then you're good to go. You're good to start pressuring the site. Easy peasy. Easy as that. Maverick is not that hard, guys. He is not that hard. You kind of get the point by now. All right, guys. Welcome to Coastline. Now, Maverick, you don't need him on Coastline. But he is good for this VIP wall if it's constantly getting reinforced or it's constantly getting reinforced and cated. Because he also has nades, which are really good on this map, and the M4 is just a nasty gun. So in general, Maverick's just a great pick on this map, in my opinion. Now, there's also some cool little map tricks you can do on Coast, which I will get to in a minute. But for this pent wall, just in general, you'll just want to make it soft for your teammate to open. So line across the top, the typical. Now, I am obviously a horrible Maverick player, but I can still get the job done, and that's all that matters, guys. That's all that matters. So you do the top, you do the bottom. You're good to go. Nice and soft. Now, the other thing you can do, if we pretend this is reinforced still, is you can just make these, like, lines in here, because what that does is it makes it so nobody can play in this corner. And as soon as you know nobody's playing in that corner, you can then come in through Hall of Fame, teabag a couple people, and then the only spots the defenders can safely sit in is this corner and behind the DJ booth here to actually protect themselves from that wall, which even if you make it soft, this is another one of the only spots they can sit. So what you can do then is if you make that hole, make sure nobody's there, you can then just simply nade out this corner or drone it out, which is more ideal. Nade them out, push them out of there, and then you know the last spot is only in that DJ booth. So if you know there's a guy there or you just want to pre-fire nade him, you can just nade both those spots and you know you have control of the room. Which is kind of a waste of the nades, but if you're too lazy to drone, you might as well just throw them because you're probably not going to use the nades if you're dead if you get smoked by a guy in either of these two spots. Genius mentality. Now, you can also use Mav's blowtorch to kind of be sneaky, and I might mess this up, but what you can do is Mav out parts of barricades like so. This might break it right here. No, we're good. We're good. So by mavericking a barricade like this, the barricade doesn't make the sound of it breaking, which allows you to just sneak into places like just complete wrap mode. So if you want to enter complete wrap mode, you do the line right below the middle part of the X. So you'll map to that part and down, and it'll look like this. You can sneak in, the barricade won't break, and it doesn't even make the melee sound, so it doesn't alert defenders like it normally would. And then once you do that, you can sneak all the way through the bomb site, which there is no site players playing. You can sneak in and you can annihilate all the defenders because they have no fucking clue where you are. But yeah, that's another cool thing you can do with Mav. Alright guys, welcome to Consulate. Everybody hates this map and bans it for some reason, but I love Consulate. Used to be in competitive, super fun map. I enjoyed it in ranked. So stop hating on Consulate, I guess, is tip number 1 for this map. Secondly, though, is Maverick good on this map? He's okay. He's viable on this map. I don't think he's great. But again, you can never go wrong by picking Maverick. You just simply cannot. Even if you don't use his blowtorch at all, you just can't go wrong with the M4 and a set of grenades. So we can't talk about Consulate without talking about the garage wall. This is, of course, one of the iconic walls that you need to open. Out of all the maps in the game, it's the Consulate Garage wall that's like the Rainbow Six struggle, we could say. Personally, I think the best way to deal with this is just throwing some flashbangs in the drone hole, throwing a nade in there, and trying to nade the utility off. That way you can thermite it to make big holes or ace it. Habana's not great because you can't make as big holes, but this is definitely a wall that you want to open as much of it as you can. Now, if you're Maverick or you don't have a hard breacher, I don't recommend opening the entire wall, which a lot of people do for some reason, but I think just opening this right panel is the most important and the safest one to open. Open up that right panel, make sure you get the little bars. Again, I am not the best map player. I am low-key kind of ass at Mav, but I get the job done. The thing that's sketchy about this is defenders can sit back here and look through your holes, so you're going to have to be aware of that. But then you'll open up this wall. Let's see if I can do it. I can't do it, okay. But you want to open up this wall, and then what I like to do is like do a little box on this side. And you'll probably want to do this second, because otherwise they can see you from yellow stairs while you're maving. But you open up a little box like that. And because you have this weird ramp thing outside, you can level yourself to get the angles that you need off of this. But it allows you to see all the things that you would want to watch. And then having this fully soft, let's open this up. Let's pretend that our teammate impacted it. You never want to really mav the edges, because it's just way easier to get smoked. So once your teammate opens it, it'll look something like this. And from here, you can check pillar, you can nade people out from behind my van, you can nade people out of pillar, you can nade people on this bricks area, you can use a lot of nades here to get a lot of kills to open up the site to actually go for a plant. Now the reason you want to make this big is because a lot of people will open holes above, and that allows you to just sprint past them. That also allows you to actually peek them from here, and meanwhile you still have the cover, you can peek in. It's just way better to make that. Just trust me. It's just way better like this. Okay, so that's what your garage wall is gonna look like if you are maving it. But again, I do recommend thermite here. He also has the smoke grenades, which are really good for the plant. But Mav does get the job done. Okay, guys, welcome to our next map. Beautiful, lovely border patrol security, border security of the TV show. Welcome. So, Border Mavs, he's okay. He's not a great pick for Border, in my opinion. I think that just a regular hard breacher will do, and then a set of grenades, because this armory wall is pretty much the wall you're always going to open up on this map, which is super easy to just clear stuff by tossing some flashbangs in, tossing a nade in. You'll get bandits, mutacades, you'll get everything with just a grenade on this wall, and then you can just thermite it open, or ace it open, or Hibana it open, because even just Hibana is good enough on this map. But if you are strictly a Maverick boy, then have no fear, because I'm going to show you the way to do this. Now, this is honestly super sketchy, because Mavericking this wall, people can swing this door pretty safely. So ideally, you have somebody in CCTV looking through here to actually watch this door swing, because otherwise, you're probably just going to get absolutely nuked. Now, you could mav the wall like this, but a defender sitting in this corner would be able to blow your ankles off. And you could mav the wall like this, but a defender in CC could potentially have holes here and blow your face off. But if this wall's reinforced, you should be good to just mav this wall, this wall soft like so. Drag her across the top, you know the vibe, and drag her across the bottom. And your wall's soft, you're good to go. Now you can also make these holes afterwards, just to kind of give your teammate the ability to see like this angle. That way if you're like planning or whatever, they can kind of hold this area, and then you could plant like backwards on this door. So at this point, honestly, if you've got this open and you clear out anybody playing behind here, so anybody playing on this half wall, if you nade them out, or you nade them from underneath, or you impact underneath, or whatever, you are pretty much good to go for a plant. If this wall's reinforced, you just grab this bomb, you plant backwards on this door, you have a guy sitting here covering the swing, you have a guy maybe sitting here holding these head holes, which you see in this wall a lot, and you can plant the bomb, and then you can just win the round, guys. It's that easy to do a border attack with Mav. Now, it's just as easy with thermite, in my opinion, or even probably stronger. But yeah, that's your armory wall. That's the way you want to do it, boys. That's the way you want to do it. So guys, the other ranked maps we have left, I'm not going to actually dive into, but I will just talk about them real quick. Bank is pretty much all hatches. You saw how to do the hatches on the Oregon one. If you guys have gotten to this point and maybe skip through the Oregon one, go back to the Oregon one to see how to do the hatches. But they're very straightforward. You just wanna take them out, do 1,000,000 damage to them, and they will break. Outback, Theme Park, and Skyscraper are all banned like 99% of the time, so we're just not going to talk about them in this video. And Favela is also banned 99% of the time, and when it's not, it's just a garbage map, and Maverick's not going to really help you win that absolute dog shit. But guys, I hope you learned something. I hope I helped your Maverick skills. If you have any comments for me, let me know. If you guys want to see any specific videos, let me know in the comments as well. Like this video, share it to your friends. Follow me on social medias. I am streaming Mondays and Wednesdays on Twitch. So if you guys want to come in and watch the action live, come on over there. The link will be in the description below. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace out. Have a good one.